How are we doing? Are we live? All right. Wait, are we going? It says yes. And we are live. Nice. Okay, well, I am restarting this Scene 7 redo. Since last time my tablet died, and I went through and I did my layout and I figured out my dialogue changes, and now I'm going to come through and do my sketches and my lines, and if I can get through that, I will get through a lot of stuff today, so that'll be cool. Okay, so this first frame is a repeat of 6. That means I can get rid of that. And I was working on, I'm going to add like a background layer just so I don't have to look at those checkerboards. Come on. Switch that and just fill it in black, perhaps. So I've got it masked. It doesn't look like that. Okay, fine. Now where's my sketch layer that I had? I've got all these backgrounds and they look like a mess. Oh, and this is my boxes layer. Got accidentally named lines. Make a new layer for the lines. We got our sketch. Should be on there. And that's not a great sketch. What am I doing here? Feels different. Feels weird. Transfer. And pressure. Well, let's see how it goes. I haven't done this one before, and it's really weird, like feeling the tooth on the pen pad. Alright, so we've got basically Shane is kind of stumbling along here, and Grant is trying to hold him up, and it looks like they're expending an awful lot of effort trying to get up here. So he's kind of going to be curved like that away. And maybe with his arm out to like counterbalance him. But like bent over, so then the hips are kind of higher. That the head, like lowering the head, makes it feel like more bent over. And then Shane is just like absolutely staggering, like stumbling. And he's probably pretty close to Xander's height, so shorter than Grant, but not that much. So okay, here we've got, you know, these guys. And meanwhile, Xander's gonna be like, what did I figure his shoulder height next to this car is? Kind of like here. And he'll be looking over and not volunteering to assist. And do we have his arms crossed? We do. That's a fine look. Just like, I don't know, sketch him like this. Let's see. How are we doing? I don't know if there's like some way to get the chat so you can check on things and make sure I'm not missing people. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a live stream, whatever. He's about waist high here. Figured out the angles, and he's kind of turned away because I want that ear sort of, because he's looking. So we're not really going to see a huge amount of his face. Just sort of a bit. And let's see. I like the angle of that, but it's too big. Scale it down. Does that look kind of like that? Just sort of watching in a completely disconcerted way. Oh, and his shirt's going to be like magically dry. Subtle things like that that I really like putting in. Let's see. Or kind of cheating arm-wise. Make that feel a little bit more fleshed out. I should probably be giving him some fingers down here. Let's see. How's he doing this? So your fingers get shorter on the edges and longer in the middle, and just like, I don't know, kind of like that. The tooth on this tablet feels weird. It feels more like paper than I'm used to, because I guess I really kind of rubbed my other tablet very smooth. Let's see. Kind of like there's going to be a thumb over here. It's like tough to figure out which way thumbs are going to point. This is kind of angling down. Did I put this out? Did I get it out right on my journals? I think I did. All right, yeah, it looks like it's out. Fine. Now, one of the best things to do, I've found, is just do all of my changes at the sketch stage. So do the flip, and then do a liquefy here. Don't wait until the lines are out, just do the liquefy now. So like, bring that chest down, a little bit more angle here, that's fine, that's pretty good. And thinking his waist needs to be a bit longer here. Arm can come down, that's a little high, but it's not too high, and I should draw the other elbow in there. Kind of like that. And then I'll just flip them. I've already got my text in here, so I know where my bubbles are going to be, and I can check to make sure I'm drawing things right. Let's see. And the other real thing about this is I need to take this car background, yeah, that one, and make sure it fills the whole frame. Oh wait, it's only not filling the whole frame because I have the layer mask. Let's try this. Something like that. Pretty good. This is a whole disaster of layers here, but it sorts itself out eventually. The neck should come in a little bit straighter here. Yeah, like that. Fine. Alright, well, let me pop this down to like 10% opacity, and let's tackle the lines. Set this ear angle here. Looks a bit different too. Doesn't that line look a little different? It feels like it's a bit harder. I went in my tool preferences and like told the tablet to be as sensitive as possible. Hopefully it stayed. Let me check that and make sure that my pen is at the highest sensitivity, because I don't want to be pressing very hard. It's one thing that saves your wrist is don't press very hard. Well, that should be it. I mean, because like basically anytime I touch, it should go to like maximum pressure almost instantly with any kind of pressure. So well, we keep going. Let's see. And we've got an eyebrow here, an eye, and that razor cheekbone. And his jaws come in kind of like that. Can we even see this enormous nose at this angle? Probably just a little. A little bit of like that. Let's put that here. And foreheads. I'm having trouble making them like curve. This feels a little bit too, I don't know. Draw his neck and see how this feels after I get a little bit more structure in here. It feels like the jaw is coming down too low. Fix that now. It's a tough angle, which I like tough angles. Just gonna tweak things out a little bit. Oh, that's right. I can put this on. New updated Photoshop had some amount of line smoothing. That's really helpful for these long lines. Let's see. I'm liking everything except that should be a little bit flatter. But I'm not liking the width of that whole head. Like, what, like that? What do I do now? So now my sketch, the arm is too high on the outside, I think. Unless we just want to push it even higher and have him like holding his arm a lot higher there. Yeah, like that. How's that? And I think, oh, wrong layer. I think this should come in just a hair. That looks weird. Looks like too pointy. All right, let's get this collar right. Shoulders kind of coming back here. This arm is going to be up, but stay a little looser as the shirt's dry, but not super loose because it's tailored. Here. Let's see. This tie is kind of not tight. That's right, because later on in this he's actually going and fixing up his tie, so it's still kind of loose. Don't like that angle here. I still didn't get that angle right. It should come kind of up. These are really rough lines. It takes me a while to get into the swing of something like this, but when I do a whole page, it's like, okay, once you get, at some point you start figuring out what things feel like. And tie and other arm. And let's see. Should have a little bit of, because that's where his other elbow is. Get that angle kind of right. A couple of fingers. I'll do the fingers in a second. Here, let me get the back. And fist on button-up shirt. All right, fingers. How am I going to do this? Put the knuckles in and just sort of getting the angle right for fingers is a huge part of this. And just a little bit there. This one should be wider, the knuckles up here. This one's going to be hidden because I got to cheat somehow. It wouldn't be right. Let's see. Drawing fingernails. I'm not really one for a huge amount of detail on hands. But I'm starting to draw more details. Alright, well, this is basically right. Oh, my canvas is really rotated. Let me change that. And waistband, he's wearing a belt, I think. Now for this back line, I can make my line a little bit heavier. And now, let's see, his weight's kind of on the right leg, and the left leg is a little looser, so I'm just going to draw that. And pleats in the pants, pockets. Get the, no button there, just sort of a, might as well do a bit more detail because it's close up. And he looks too big for the car, doesn't he? What I'm probably going to do is move the car. Is that just this one? Let's see if I can't. See if I move the car, he looks like how about like that? That's basically exactly where it was before. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, these guys. Now, these guys I'm kind of working on outline because they are quite small, but I should have at least some sort of a detailed thing. I have Grant, like with one foot off the ground, you can kind of feel this instability where they're like moving and not, the point is the center of gravity is like not right. I mean, it is kind of in the middle here, but they're kind of, you can see this angular velocity heading that way. Let's see. Shane is going to have this arm here, but he's not holding on too well. Grant has got a grip on his armpit here, so that's about the right distance for that. He'll have this hand kind of out and flailing as he's balancing. What am I doing? It's a bunch of, let's see, like that. And he's bent over and like stumbling. And how is this working? Because Shane's knee is kind of off the ground here, like his other one, but he's not really reaching forward much with it, so there's going to be a lot of kind of fabric bunching up in that corner because Grant's got his arm and his head's going to be down. So you'll see the ears and the nose, and that looks kind of staggery. We're getting there. Perhaps this leg is a little bit further down, and then kind of going back. Oh, I don't remember if he was actually wearing shoes in this. Yes, he was. I think, at least originally, he had these boots on, so I don't have to worry about feet quite so much. Alright, so Grant is doing this. His head is facing one direction, and his hat, and his body is kind of facing this other direction as he's sort of staggering out of control. And this shirt should actually come down wider and lower because it's bent forward. That's not great, but whatever. So we've got this kind of direction here, this kind of direction here, and he's like wildly off balance. So for him it's mostly hat though. His head should be down quite a lot, so he's not really looking up. He's like looking down. Here's his hat. It's kind of like that. And yeah. Now, was he wearing his jacket here? I think he was in the last one. Let me bring up my previous one. What was that? CG.C1.1.6. Oh, but he wasn't in 6, was he? He was in 5. Let's see. Take a look at 5. Come on, computer, find it. I just did this file. Yeah, he's wearing his jacket. It's unbuttoned. He's wearing his hat to keep the rain off. Fine. So this sketch, this jacket's gonna come kind of like that, and maybe a little bit of a swoop here to emphasize this motion going that way. So he's got a little pocket there. Fine. All right. Oh, and yeah, what's Shane gonna be doing with his hand? Like trying to move but not doing well. Perhaps like something like that. It looks reasonable. Shane kind of looks a bit big here. I think his head's fine size, but all of this needs to go smaller. And then I can have his legs kind of like extended down back there. Fine, like that. That looks pretty good. That looks really off balance, doesn't it? That's great. Alright, so get Grant's hat. Let me actually see if this pen will pair with the other tablet, because this, the tooth that Wacom has so nicely put in there actually is making me have to press harder, and I don't like to press very hard. And I'm not seeing much of Grant's face. You can see his tie would be kind of, I don't know, that's too long for a tie. Yeah, the tooth is actually throwing me off a little on this. I could always sand it off. I ended up doing that with my other one just because something happened and I scratched the surface. So I very carefully took some, what is it called, rouge? Jules Rouge, the red stuff, and sanded it. And that got my scratches out without, and I was worried it was going to damage the sensitivity of the tablet, but it didn't. I think it actually made it a bit more sensitive, which worked for me. And make that a little bit more. Now Grant's clothes are wet, so he's going to have a little bit more wrinkles. His shirt's going to be wet in the front, but not really on the where the coat is covering it. He's reaching here. Get this hand. He's going to have his cuff kind of coming out. It's a pretty bad hand, but it's really going to be small, so all you have to do is get this sort of sense. Well, at least that's my current theory. And Shane's head, he's going to be bleeding. I've got to make a note that his head is like cracked open here. Might as well draw it in the lines. Nose, he's kind of looking down. You'll see a little bit of forehead. Alright, so then we've got this hand of Grant's. It's going to kind of emphasize that finger a little bit more, and then these are kind of bunched up. And he's got a hold of him like that, and the shirt lines. And this leg is kind of be coming up, interrupting that. Let's see. The Grant's leg here coming out is, he's like stepping, so here's his foot. And it's too, his pants are kind of still wet. So there's just a little bit more wrinkles and stuff on them. This one is kind of feels more angled backwards. And, oh yeah, this, oh, that's right, I forgot Shane's other arm. This probably, oh, that's right, he was like trying to reach around behind. Forgot. So Grant's coat needs to come across like this. And then we're just gonna like ignore whatever Shane's doing there. Grabbing a bit too low. Let's see, what kind of pants was he wearing? If you look down here, it's kind of like sweatpants and a t-shirt, I think. So they're going to be a little goofy out there. finish up this arm. Figure something with this hand. This hand is, I don't know, I don't want that thumb too wide. Let's just, it needs to be longer, but yeah, that's a pretty bad hand. Oh, that'll do it for me. Do a really horrible hand and then just leave it. And this whole pose is like devolving itself. Grant's going well, but this leg is having problems here. Alright, so one of the things to do to fix something at this stage is flip it. Oh yeah, well, we're definitely doing that off-balance look pretty well, actually. And I'll bring that out just a hair, but not much. Actually, it's fine. It's small enough. I'm going to leave it. Delete these sketch lines just to make sure it looks sort of right. And there we go. All right, next bit. Okay, so Xander was going to get up off this car, kind of go out and help him. So, as a background, I probably need this one again, which was, I'm just going to duplicate this one, delete the layer mask if I can make it click. And so that's right, I pulled this piece over from the previous week. I'm gonna cheat this, make it a little bit wider, so it kind of minimizes the car. And then I'm going to cheat this again. So let me move the car over to where I want it to be, like pretty minimal. And then I'm just going to take this whole piece and transform it. What you can do is you snap the center, and then it'll transform from that point over. So I can just spread the landscape, and you get a slightly different look, slightly different angle, and a new background, really. Mask it off. Alright, now Xander's going out to grab this guy and then pick him up and then carry him back. Now is he, I don't know, is he moving fast? Is he moving slow? What, is he just taking a lazy stroll out there? I mean, he does carry the guy back. It's like, of all the things that he doesn't actually need to do, he picks the guy up in fireman's carry. Let me get rid of this thing over the car so I can kind of visualize this a bit better. I think we're actually going to take these lines and use them again here, but they're kind of going to be down a bit. And I'm going to like change some stuff so it's slightly different, but we don't have to go through that whole thing again. And merge those. Let me delete this. Kind of see, okay. How is Xander walking out? And how tall is he as he's doing this? He's like, he's away from the car, so he's actually, he should be like here, kind of, maybe. Like there, that big of a head, shoulders, kind of. Like And then feet, is that far enough? Doesn't look like he's walking out. He actually just looks. What if it was like this? So what's this car doing? This car is making this big old vanishing point, kind of. It's a little, you know, that's what it is. Is the vanishing point should be here. And the car is making it look weird. So well, let's see what we can do with this background. Make the car vanishing point a little bit. This looks like the car is like parked uphill. I could get the background without the car. I might as well try. I mean, if I don't do it, I'm just gonna wish I had. Let me find that sky background that I was using. Wow, computer. It is so dog slow. Okay, come on now. Flip over like you're supposed to. There we go. Place. Okay, so there's that sky background. You can see how much I lightened it for the other one. So this is going to go like that. And I'm going to rasterize this and get the moon out of there. That's right, snap that to that lower corner. Just pull the sky higher so the moon isn't in frame anymore. And I'm going to go find the right angled car. So this car is going to be basically this one, but flipped. So let me flip this, and we can tweak that a bit because that's still not quite the right vanishing point. Let me distort it. Kind of pull that up and then down. Maybe move the car itself over a tad. Something like that. Let me get the piece masked out here. Let's see, one little piece here. Widen that. Keep that little piece. Reverse it and mask it. Actually, I'm gonna take my selection and feather it. Like, what, 4 pixels or so? And that helps on these selections so you don't have to go over and like repaint them. Gives them a little bit of a fuzzy edge, makes it seem more in scene. And since that sky is not lightened yet, I'm not going to lighten it right now. I'm just, you know, I'm not even liking that car here. We may just have to re-render a new car. Let me swap over to Blender and get that render going since I can't find one that I like. And should be in Blender. Okay, here we go. Where's my camera? I want to do frame 17. Get out of the car. And now what was my problem here? What's this looking like? I want the car, because we're looking at the car from like basically wheel level, but I want a decent amount of the side of the car in there. Like that, something, so that we can still have that vanishing point like here, the right spot. All right, let me get this align active camera to view. Should that work with the car kind of way up high in frame like that, like here? Yeah, that should work, because then you know, Grant Shane is bigger to Xander, and then the car is like filling up the whole frame. That should be right. Okay, so last render I did, I didn't have denoising checked, which I'm checking now. Come on. And I was sampling too many frames because it took forever. And let's see, move this down to square samples and take it to 10. Because it doesn't need that many samples. It's not that dark. It's an outdoor scene. 100 samples should be fine, not 90,000. Oh, that should work. I'm going to save this because things look like they might crash at any second. I'm going to hit render. I'll swap back over to Photoshop and save this one too for good measure. Okay. So let me delete that car. Now, how is Xander going out there again? I mean, fairly vigorously, I suppose. So we'll make him off balance. Maybe like a jog, slight jog. So that's going to put him like slightly, oh, that's far too off. That's like Tintin off balance. But be like elbows out. I think gotta wait for this save to be over to do anything detailed. Or yeah, you'd think that car is right, but I think it's just too high because I needed the car to be, oh shoot, I'm running the wrong frame. Did I not save my camera view? Let's go over to Blender. You can see what I'm seeing here. So I'm failing. All right, I didn't do my keyframe. Whoops. That means I gotta pull out again. Get it in the right spot. I've got to align it with like the wheel well so it's the right height. I'm going to align the camera. That should be a bit higher. Rotate it a little bit more. Pull it back a tad. How did I have it? Like, yeah, like that, right? A little lower. Insert that keyframe or it's not going to do it. And now I'll try the render. I go switch back over to Photoshop. Alright, while that's kind of working its way. Oh wait, I finished with the save. Now let's see. How's this sketch gonna go? So I don't know, what should I do? Like look up joggers. How do joggers look? Kind of weird usually. Like what if it's just very slight, kind of 1 foot up, other foot forward, but not, you know, super far forward. Not really bent super much. That's a little too bent, but like, yeah, like that. Yeah, what is this? He's sort of like slowing down after jogging. So the line of action kind of goes like that. And so we'll have kind of back and elbows, and this arm is going to kind of be out, and that arm. Which direction is this? It might be like that, sort of down. That looks about right. Why do I have so much lag? Is that smoothing? I still have tons of lag. Feel that? Look at that. Oh well, new things to get used to. So here he is running out. That leg can come out a little bit. And shoulder to hip to knee to ankle should be all about the same length, which looks fine here, but this leg is going to have to be a little bit longer to make it look right. And I'm going to flip this to get that length really right. As you run, your feet kind of angle in a bit. So there's his shoe. Weight's on that hip, so that hip's a bit higher. Not that it really matters, because he's pulling back, kind of. Here's the neck. Should start over here. There's the head. We're gonna get, where's the ear? Alright, that kind of looks like partially okay. But it could be that this streaming software is just causing the delay because of the extra processing power problems. I really am not working off of a great setup here, but whatever. Let's see. All right, fix this. So we're going to bring this back a little bit, shoulders kind of in line with the hip, leg forward. That's about right. That's actually about the right length too. The only real thing is this arm can be a bit down like that. That gives the idea that the arms are different. The elbows are at different levels. Oh, and I even, like, without trying, got the swing right, because the opposite arm follows the opposite leg. So if one leg's forward, the opposite arm's forward. All right, well, let's start from here and do some very jagged, staggery lines. I'll put that smoothing back on. Could be the tooth is kind of catching my hand and not letting me do quite as smooth a sweep. And he'll have a little bit of hair coming off of him because it's an easy way to show movement. Come on. Look at that lag. It's bad. And there's his neck. Just gonna, oh, one thing I should have been doing that I haven't is checking my my lines for holes so that I can do my flats without too much trouble. Like, what did I just do there? That shouldn't be like that. So I'm using the magic wand on contiguous and just selecting the area outside the lines. And the solid shapes it won't get. And if I've got any holes in my lines, it will get. Look at that, that's pretty good actually. So I don't have any holes in my shapes here. No, not even there. Not even there. So I can do my flats real fast and easy if I take care this way. All right, now I'm seeing one of my problems here is this head is too big. Let's move it down just a bit. There's all kinds of stuff on proportions and how many heads wide a pair of shoulders should be for what kind of character and thing. I don't know. I'm tending to go by sight. All right. Not as many wrinkles because this shirt is dry. And this is a weird hand angle because there's going to be like fingers coming here and here and here and there and thumb kind of. Oh, the finger's fine, but the thumb is kind of failing. I'll put a little bit more. Let's see. This thumb is kind of going to go that way. Very short from this angle, and you're going to see more of that heel of his hand. All right. Let's see. Still wearing his belt. And we've got an arm. And this shouldn't attach like super close in. Let's see. This, oh, look at this lagging is really getting annoying. Well, we'll see if I can manage it, and if I can't, I just won't try the live stream thing. It'd be fun to do it though. I'm kind of having fun with this. It's kind of cool. Let's see, there's a thumb there. And this leg is kind of, it's got to attach at the top. Ah, look at this. I can't even draw a straight line without it cutting off and breaking apart. Oh well, we'll see what we can do. And this one, like that. This one, the knee is kind of there. Get a little bit of both legs, but not much. Do not have the compute power to run all of these. I mean, I'm trying to run a 3D program, a streaming video program, and an image processing program for a canvas that is 40,000 pixels long. So it's like, yeah, I shouldn't be complaining. I should be happy that my computer can even attempt to run all these calculations at once. And I think, okay, that should come around kind of like that. And his foot is going to be kind of like that. Suit pants. This doesn't look like it's the right angle, but it is. Alright, so now it looks like he's like run out there and is decelerating because that foot is put out kind of to stop. Fix up this. Oh, it just stopped recognizing. Oh, there it goes, finally caught up. Alright, now I'm pretty sure there's some holes in this one. Let me select this and then we'll go hunt all the gaps in the lines and fill them up. Come on, you can do it. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. That's actually, okay, we're fine. Okay, so now what do I want to do differently here? I'm going to put this on like lighter and turn up my sketch layer. So Grant's arm can come down like in, I think. So we'll get rid of that. And his leg, he would have stepped on this leg, so he'll be holding that leg, and so this knee is gonna drop, and that foot is gonna come in. And Shane's knee will have hit the ground, and so his whole body perhaps has kind of come to a halt here. Kind of like, so he's just on the ground. We'll just move all of it. Oh, come on, recognize. Okay, we got some serious lagging problems here. All right, so all of his lines are gonna come down, which is gonna pull Grant down with him. So maybe instead of moving those lines, I should work on, I guess Grant's leg is kind of going to be more bent here. So his knee is kind of like that now. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to draw that on the lines layer. Okay, so our Blender file just finished. So I'm going to swap over there real quick and save it. What about like I don't know if I like that light on the inside. I like how it looks though. I would paint it out, I think. I think I'm just gonna save it and paint it out. And what are we gonna call this? Car 16. I'm being really lazy with these. We've got point, that was the one that was rendered. Took 13 minutes to render it. Yeah, I was fighting with the lagging too much, so I'm not going to render another frame. That is supposed to go in this frame, though. Get the sketch layer deleted here for Xander. And let me add that. What do I call it? Car 16. That should be over here. There it is. And I'm just going to leave it big while I get rid of the that purple. That expand my selection. Oh, that bit. And then I'm going to feather this selection. And I was using 4 pixels and that kind of worked. That just aliases the edge. Yeah, like that. That's right. And kind of see how I'm probably going to have to just delete that. Let me get rid of it, but I'll paint over it later. So that's distracting me, but I really like the that orange, the glow on the inside of the car. And let me also get rid of these windows to view. I don't want these, but I do want that nice thin line down the middle there, mostly. Oh, and that's the rearview mirror, so that's fine. Let me feather this selection. And then we can come in and just get rid of them. Now you can see the sunset through the car. Looks kind of cool. All right, back over here. Uh-oh, that's from the car edge because it's feathered. I should have, there we go. Let's paint that out. And let's get this. just going to start, let's see, turn that down. I'm going to start erasing lines so we can get everything redone. Turn the lines back up to full. Here's his arm, and here's his hand. Not gonna really worry about that. His leg is meeting the ground. His knee is kind of coming like this. He's way off balance, but he's sort of regained his center of gravity here. That went down too far. Let's try, like, probably just awful at feet, but I don't know. I don't spend a huge amount of time and worry on them, so that's got to count for something, right? Alright. That way we're slightly different pose, but not really all that different. Just enough. And now I want to flip this because I don't know what's going on with Xander's shoulders there. It looks weird. Looks weird. I think what's going on is this stuff here. Like, none of that's needed. His shoulder blades are like back there. This should come in a lot lower. And that should not be as far out. Now, what's with the hands? I don't even know. That hand is perhaps a bit too... Yeah, that's what we do. The wrists were in too much. I don't know, that feels a little better, slightly. When you stare at a pose for too long, it just looks worse and worse and worse. So at some point, I always have to say, look, just move on and come back. If it's not working, move on, come back. Save this. All right, so what's the next scene? The next scene, we've got the full car shot, and he's putting Shane over his shoulder. There's a bit more ground and a bit less sky. Now I'm painting the ground in, so let me, that's right, I never masked out that sky layer, so it kind of looks, where are we? This one, right? No. That one, this one, this layer. I know I just brought that in. Oh, this one. That's it. You can see how unorganized I am. Alright, so he's running out. He's going to pick him up and do the fireman carry. Then walk off with him. And there's still no dialogue. Except for this thought. A little bit. Alright, so what was I was getting the sky in order, so I'll want this one again. I'm going to delete that layer mask, because that's the other one. Bring the sky down. Oh, I need to put it in front of this background. We won't be able to see it. That is from the car. This car. Layer mask. There we go. And I'd better mask out that tire too, hadn't I? Okay. Now this car is really angled up. Like mad. What? Okay, I was going to have a lot of sky in here though. And that car is the fine angle for that amount of sky. So I want I want the horizon kind of be like there. That works with the car, doesn't it? And we'll mask it. And then I'm just going to take ground and pull it forward. And I'll, of course, paint in all the grass and lights and junk. And that's the background for this. Now, what's going on here? Grant is like bent over, huffing and puffing. And I should probably look up how to get somebody into a fireman's carry, but he gets Shane's right arm over his shoulder because he's then going to grab it through here. So he'll be kind of angled, leaning in. So this is all going to be a bit of an arc. Oh, go away, fly. So let me delete these sketch layers and see, this is going to be more of an arc, kind of following that, and then Grant is going to be more of sitting there contemplating his next sumo move. Alright, so I don't need this now, whichever layer it was that I just dragged and moved. There we go. So, sketches on this. Takes hours to do this, doesn't it? Alright. Start with Grant. Grant's pose is kind of easier. So he is sitting here, just sort of squatting with his arms kind of like his head. That's obviously too big for a head, even with a hat on it. But he should be bent pretty far down, a little bit further than this. And his legs are kind of coming up like that, and you can kind of see that he is tired. That was hard for him to do, drag Shane up to this car. And that can be a little bit better balance back there. Oh, hi, Robert. This is a MacBook Air. This is a MacBook Air. Oh, did I leave it on, yeah, I left it on Blender, sorry. Let's see, back to Photoshop. Now you can see what I was doing with Grant. This is a MacBook Air, and you know, it's really been a great portable machine for doing stuff. And for a while, I needed a lot more portability because I was out of internet options. Let's see. So we'll have Shane's arm here, and he's going to be kind of lifting him this way. He's going to be sort of twisted. His knees are kind of buckled. I don't know, this is kind of, his head is going to be going back. His head is going to be, his shoulder is behind. His arm is coming around here because he's about to pick him up on his back. Maybe a little bit bent. And let's see. For a while there, I was really, I should have a lot of force direction going that way. I was not able to get any kind of internet bandwidth, which I needed. So I did a lot of stuff in coffee shops and having the portable MacBook Air, which is really small too. It's their, what is it, 11-inch screen? Fulfilled that need for a while, but now I'm really thinking, oh man, I really need a better processor, or what I'd really like is a graphics card that'll work with Blender, because this just won't. Alright, and then we've got like this, so that's actually not too bad of a sketch here. But Shane is too small in this. Let me flip this and take a look, see what we're doing here. Let's see. Well, he's not actually all that small. Let's scale him up just a hair. Kind of like, because Sandra's leg is bent, so Shane's waist should be a bit higher than him. Not too much higher. And then we've got his arm, kind of like that. Alright, let me flip this again. Now, Grant hat. Let me just draw his head. So, what is his head going to be at this point? His shoulders are a bit narrower. So he's just, his coat, his hat. His hat's going to kind of come like that. Now for Xander over here, his face is facing down. It's like this. So the jaw is kind of going to come like that. And this in a little bit. Alright, so he's kind of definitely leaning in and sticking his neck out a little, because all that weight is going to get hefted up onto his shoulder. I think that looks like a plausible fireman's carry. But now, one of these problems is that Grant is got to be smaller to make him look further away, which is, I think, how it should be, kind of like this. Still keep that kind of, that big old vanishing point idea. I think I'm going to make that car a little bit bigger to emphasize that they're, well, I don't know, are they the right? It's like, geez, Andrew, you're going to just pick this guy up 15 feet away from the car, you know, do this little nice fireman's carry, and then telekinetically open the car door. Yeah, that's what you do. And you wonder why Grant gets mad at him all the time. So here we go. Sandra's face. Since the ear is kind of the big point here. And his hair is still somewhat messy, because I seem to remember him cleaning it up in the car later. This is going to be a decent... All of a sudden his fingers are super long. Let's see. Like that. And then kind of coming around like that. You can see that he's holding on to him. Somehow I think this is where Shane is no longer wet either. So, I mean, we never really got a chance to draw Shane's clothes up close, so you never really be able to tell, but I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking about it. And let me get this shoulder position right. I don't have Shane's shoulder right. Okay, so Shane's head is like right here. So his shoulder is right there. And his elbow is kind of going to be here, and then his hand is coming out there. Right? That looks like, that looks right. Okay, and then Xander's holding his hand like this, kind of down from the top, with the thumb coming up from the bottom. There we go. See, that looks reasonable. I don't know. Back here. So this sleeve is kind of go like that. There is a lot of pinching because I guess his head is actually going to be right up against Xander's neck by now. And arm, thumb, hand, which is got to have some fingers coming off of it. I was so happy when I originally drew this. I'm like, yeah, this is really complicated character interaction. I mean, one guy is picking another guy up. But I was just so happy that I could even draw something that wasn't talking heads. And so now that I'm going back in and taking the really simple drawings that I'd done and making them better, it's like I'm finally fulfilling that dream that I had way back then of, yes, I can finally do this. I can sort of do this, kind of. Okay, so this is kind of going to be stretched a little because he's reaching for him. So there's that. I get the tie, which is loose, hanging down, whereas the rest of his shirt is going to follow the curve of him bending over. So we've got this coming back, and belt, not really, but there's body, and it's actually not as bad as it could be. I don't know what's going on over here. I know what's going on. It's this lag on the poor pen, but I'll see what I can do to work with that a little bit better. Get these. Oh, that's right. He was wearing some kind of a boot. But that looks like sweatpants, kind of. They have a waistband. A little bit indented waistband. And he's just like dragging his feet at this point, so I am just gonna draw this boot kind of really not connected to the ground. Let's see, his ankle is kind of coming down that way, like that. And get that whole arc, that curve in the leg. Alright, but before I actually put that down, I want to get this sort of, these dress pants done right. Okay. I really want to do all these lines in like one sweep, and unfortunately the lag is making me not do that, so I'm putting in more effort than I really want to be. And of course Xander's foot. Now that's one of these wonderful great things about dress pants like this, is they really hide the shoe. So, you know, for a shoe facing forward, get the right shape, it's quite easy with these cuffed dress pants. You can at least get a shape that looks halfway decent. pretty fast. And kind of be hanging down there. It's like his leg is back, knees there. Fine. That looks about right. Definitely get that thrust of the motion. I'll flip it and see what it looks like if I still like it then. Alright. Don't like that, whatever's going on there. And this should definitely be coming in a little bit under, like that. Alright, that looks really weird. But I'll flip it and kind of figure out what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The knee isn't believably in the right place. Like, that needs to come way down. Kind of. I didn't grab a really great angle. The other thing, I'm definitely showing that angle, but I think I'm showing it a little bit too much. This needs to be somewhat vertical, and that leg needs to be a little bit smaller. And there we go. I like that, I think. A little bit better. I don't like his head, but whatever. I think the general idea is clear enough for now. I'll come back to it. Delete this. Move over to Grant, which you'd think with all of these small, far away images that they'd be easy and you wouldn't have to do so many lines, but they're just as difficult as a close-up image. Let's see. That is a terrible hat. That is like not a hat. What am I trying to do here? And something like that. And Grant's tie is also going to be hanging down. And let's see, his hands. Oh, I should probably sketch these out. Kind of think they're kind of easy. Like that, I guess, something. Alright, just kind of draw some very rough hands, just enough so that you get this idea. Gotta get his cuffs in there. This suit thing doesn't look right. And his arm went too wide there. Try like this. And alright, collar, pants, again with the suit pants, making for easy feet, getting the angle of the cuff is the big deal for that. And what do I have there? Right. Should be. It's pretty decent, I suppose. Let me flip him and see how it looks. Looks awful. I don't know what I'm doing. His arms need to be wider, his legs need to be smaller. And I think the whole image, she needs to be rotated, just like that. Looks weird, but wow, whatever. The whole thing is weird. And he needs to be lower because he's like flying in the air. This is where's the ground, and then Xander also needs to be lower. And then this car, so this car, that car, needs to get moved a little bit out of frame. And see, this is different because this one you're looking up, this one you're looking down. Which reminds me. Wait, how big is this? Distort. Why can't I see this? It's showing. Uh-oh. Something bad's happening. Save it. When the image is down here and it's showing me the transform handles up there, I know something has gone wrong. Wow, it's been like 3 hours and I've done 3 frames. This is how it goes. Well, this should be a little bit easier because that's not actually a terrible frame. Though I do want to actually draw Grant over there rather than just having him as this. I don't know, I kind of liked having him as that just faceless, griping, hulking guy in the background with his hat. Kind of standing there awkwardly. Let's see, this is simply too bright. I can't see my stuff. Let me turn that down to say no more than that. Right. I'm just going to draw Grant like this. He's still going to be standing there awkwardly, kind of leaning forward a bit. But he'll just be standing there, whining to himself. And Xander is pretty good, but this waist is a little bit wrong, and it should be obvious that he's walking like that. I don't know. Oh, that looks a bit better. Okay, Grant. Establish that front of the face. So I am going to draw his face here, I think. My sketch is a lot better, and I'm going to draw the face, but it's kind of hidden by this hat. Here's the hat. There's his collar, kind of. And I'm going to slide that tie in a bit, like his chest is hollowed in as he's sort of leaning forward just a tad, with this idea that he's sort of just awkward, and his hands are like, or his arms are going to be awkwardly at his side. Where's the elbow line? Right about there. Then there's the wrist. He's just not having a good day. This has been one of Grant's least favorite days of, like, I don't know, a week. So here's his leg. I kind of wanted that to, yeah, look at that. That looks like the hulking and awkward idea that I want, but it's not. Yeah, that's no, not rotate. I want skew. So balance him out a little bit so I get that center line nice and vertical. As Grant is whining to himself, like he does, as is his wont. And where's this eye line is kind of here, so we're going to see a little bit of eye. We're going to see nose. Sort of ear. His ears are uncommonly low on his head. That's one of the things that I'm doing with Grant to get his kind of distinctive look. And it is a distinctive look. Alright, his nose comes out quite a bit as well. There you go, look at that. He looks definitely unhappy. Except that face is just a little bit too low on the head. So let me just drag it up. We're really not going to see much of his face. His ears kind of go a tad higher, but not much. And then his suit's kind of coming down like that. And that's where his lapels are going to be. How is this looking? Looks pretty good. I don't want him looking down, though. I want his head up enough that he's, like, glaring at Xander. So I'm going to move the eyes up a tad. Nose, I think. Nose and mouth. Just tilt up the head a little bit. Then he's like staring at Xander, completely unhappy about life. And, you know, you would be too if you were soaked to the skin in the middle of the night and Xander is just blatantly showing off. For reasons unknown. There's a lot to sympathize with in Grant's unsympathetic rages. Let's see. Yeah, it's awkward. That's the point of this pose. I just have to keep telling myself, we want to keep it awkward. Angry. Like a soaked puppy. Get a nice evil scowl on his face. Oh, that eye's pointing too far down. This is something that I just can't bring myself to do, is draw somebody where their eyes are like pointing in the same direction. It is so difficult for me. I do not know why, but it is. And, oh wait. Get this ear. That looks like Grant scowling. Just get a nice swoop of the hat. See, that went well. Maybe I'm biting into this pad enough that the tooth issue is going away, hopefully. Alright, now what I have to do is I've got to get the edge of his head, and I've got to take the hat to just outside the edge of his head, and then go straight up, and get the front, and angle it from there. This still probably doesn't actually look like a hat. No, it doesn't, because that angle is wrong. This needs to curve. And this angle is wrong. That needs to curve. And his hat looks too big, but only on the back side. So let me take this and squeeze it on in like that. Huh. And connect it up. Did he have a bow on? Yeah, it's on the left side of his hat, so I have to draw it here. So here's his little hat band coming in like that. And this back edge just looks too long. Should be shorter, like that. And then this front edge also looks too long. I don't know what kind of a hat this is, whether this is a fedora or a something else. I know they're kind of based on the size of the brim. Let's see. He likes his hats. He was born in the 30s. He likes his hats. His tie, kind of just heading straight down to emphasize this sort of utter collapsed state of everything. Get his coat jacket. Those lapels are too big. Move them in. Now, I feel like I do have some sort of a major problem here that I'm not identifying yet. It is. Those pockets kind of are a nice cheat to mark the hip level with. His hand is going to be kind of forward. Should draw it from the top, not from the bottom. I don't want to do all my strokes in like the downward motion or the flow of gravity. Kind of helps make things look a little bit more natural. And his jacket, yeah, his jacket's kind of coming out like that. His arm is like clamped to his side here. It should probably come out just a hair. He looks so miserable. He looks miserable. And go this. And with this, I think I've done most of the portions of this comic that I hadn't, done some pre-worked lines for. So this is obviously, kind of starting from scratch again like this. It takes me a lot longer to get a good pose, and especially, doing a full body pose, doing these like multiple character interaction poses. It's a lot to a lot to handle. Let's see. Belt buckle, pants, wear pants. Let's see. Maybe it's slightly bigger. My fingers are sticking together. And this is gonna come down here. He's still wet, so this is gonna be reflected in his clothes. And once I get these outlines like that, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to get rid of the sketch layer and get rid of this layer and just work on making him look as miserable as possible. I'll still have like water dripping off the edge of his hat. I get a nice thick line here because then the moonlight can be shining from behind him and it'll kind of add a nice effect if I do that. Make this line a little brighter. How did that happen? Okay, so now these being wet, you'll get a little bit of just his suit is all wet, his shirt is all wet. The lapels won't really show it, but probably change the color of the fabric actually more than anything in a wool suit like this. So maybe that's what I'll do there. Yeah, he looks miserable. And we know who's gonna hear about it for weeks. Let's see. Fix this height issue here for that coat. Not much, just a little. His arm can kind of, yeah, like that. Wow. Feel sorry for you, man. All right. Ow. Crack my wrist. Ah. All right. So why does it keep making little things? This one can come back on, and I'm just going to do the lines straight over this because that's mostly okay. The worst part with this is these feet, because the arms are like solid and pretty good. There's a shoulder, that one, you know, that'll come out a bit, and then the wrong layer. This will come out a bit like that. The shoulder will come back a bit like that. There's a little bit more space there. This foot is wrong angle, but there's something about fireman's carry where you have to like lock their, oh yeah, you have to lock their feet. You gotta lock this front foot kind of behind the back foot, so this knee is bent. So this one definitely goes behind, and then the other one gets locked in front, so you can like exert the torque to hold the whole thing together with that one arm there. So let's see, how's this going? This leg should actually be kind of angled in from the other side, shouldn't it? All right. Kind of like that. I tried to do a fireman's carry on somebody once a long time ago, and I don't think I was able to. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. You know, throw 180 pounds on my back, forget it. Not happening. All right, and then this angle is wrong. It just looks wrong. I should be more overlapping with that other leg, which is kind of twisted. No, that's why I had his foot angled the other way, because his knee is facing forwards like that. And his leg is actually, yeah, that is actually a pretty good angle for this. This other knee, that's about right. The only issue being get Xander's shoulders and arms right. So here is his one arm. I should probably give his other arm a lot more leeway here. A little bit, maybe not quite that much. Because it's back, it's pulled back, and then forward, kind of like that maybe. And this shoulder, like that. And then this is the center line. I don't know. I'm going to keep that expression. It just... I don't know. I think it's funny. We'll keep that expression. Let's see. It's actually not pretty bad. They end up getting really small to get these. And I'm really having to scrub these lines to get them 100%, even though they're all at 100%. It's like, there's some velocity thing tagged onto this, this pen that is just, it's not reading right. What did I do before? How did I set it up? Come on, wrist. Crack. Tip field, touch options, pointer speed, scrolling speed, pointer acceleration? Scrolling? I don't even know what these things are. Standard gestures, on-screen control. Mapping should be right. Look at options. No. Or no, I can't see why. I am having difficulty. Come on, Photoshop, recognize. Cancel that. Come on, look at this. Do not know what that's doing. That's wrong, obviously. What did I do? Sketch. You can see it bleeding in somehow. It's moving. There it goes. Maybe I just needed to take my hand off. I don't know. It's nice to be drawing again. Still, eyes are not pointing in the same direction. Oops. It's kind of not like this. This is a funny mouth. This face, that's wide enough. It's fine. a little bit wider, but not much. That chin is probably just a hair too long. Yeah, like that. Ow. What am I doing here? Rotation to 0. Draw his hair. To do a weird setting earlier, so I was trying to fix up today's comic release with the mouse, and I set the pen setting to fade. But I thought that was just for one brush, and I thought that was temporary, because this one shouldn't have a texture, it shouldn't have any transfer. See, like this, that should be on pen pressure. Maybe if I just set that to pen pressure and then turn it off, then it'll behave better. Not do that sort of fading in thing. What do we have? Size, jitters, pen pressure, fine. Dual brush. Are we really doing a dual brush here? And I don't know. And the smoothing is the and build up. It lets me change the flow, which I don't do for the comic lines at all. Alright, here's his shirt. Alright, I need to get Shane's arm here. Get their hands. These hands are actually pretty good. I'm not going to change much here. Oh, come on. Back here. The angle is kind of getting wonky, isn't it? Let's see. This hand is coming at an angle like that. And then these look generally right. And his thumb looks generally wrong, but we'll fix that like that. And then you should have another finger in here, but whatever. Who's counting? Who's counting? Oh. And that arm, his shoulder is resting like back here. So if I change that sleeve thing to follow that arm angle, that's going to look a lot better. So we've got to start from the back because it's hanging up front. And do what we can with a little bit of gravity. Get his shoulder. like, oh, let me get Xander's arm here. Should be coming in like that. He is wearing cufflinks because it's just one of those things. These French cuff shirts. It's all like just enough to give you this vague impression that everybody's being played. Because, I mean, nobody knows at this point in the story how many superpowers Xander actually has. But I just wanted to give the impression, you know, without drawing attention to it, that, you know, things just are not as they seem. Let's see, this should come in, the heel should come out again, but obviously not quite at that big angle like that. That'll work. And boy, are things not what they seem. And that's all I can say about that. These boots should have some sort of a tread to them. What's like a usual tread? That's not how tread goes. Let's see, tread kind of goes like that, and it's going to be narrower on the other side. Just like a little bit of tread. That really sucks. Oh well. The heel will be solid. This leg is coming in front. So that's going to come in front like that. And these are lace-ups, so I've got to do that panel on the side, make it reinforced. They're like their eyelet holes. And, oh, wow. We have serious stability problems. I'm going to see if this will pair with that other tablet, just because I don't know what is causing this. But I don't think I'm getting that same delay, so I think changing that thing from fade, even when the tool was off, see, the tool is off, but the settings are still important enough that I don't know. I do not know. Shin's head is kind of small, so how big should it be? And should we see an ear? I think we should see an ear. Should kind of come over here and be like that. How about that? That looks a little bit more natural. And these lines are going to come out from here. Alright, now what is Xander's tie doing? It's not bad, but it's not wonderful. What if the tie was kind of like going like this? It's a little bit longer because it's loose. Does that make more sense? Looks a bit better now. How is this chest kind of facing? And just like basic arm muscles groups. Let's see. The tie-in. Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of the one issue by changing that tool setting. And now there's just a little bit too much friction for it to feel right to me. On I've got to remember his shirt is dry, so it's not really gonna be a lot of wrinkles. Just a few. See, walking forwards. It's actually, let's see, his arm. And that should do it. This hand is fine. Nice long cuff. And then thumb back. And his knuckles should come down a little further. 1, 2, 3. Oh, now the hand looks too long. Just do what we can. And we've got the pleat here. I always find it's easier to draw the pants if I get the pleat before I get the fly. Just because, especially when they're moving, getting the right angle around the leg is kind of tough. But having those, you know, couple little lines does really help sell the idea that it's three-dimensional and not two-dimensional. Right. What are we doing here? Oh, I forgot Shane's head. See how I'm doing elsewhere. Look at that. Wow, I'm doing really good today. I don't have any holes in my lines. It's because I've set everything on 10 tolerance. Here it comes up like that. His hair is going to come in like that. He'll be nicely evenly buzzed across the base. Good military style. Alright, that's decent. Delete these lines, save this. Probably going to repeat that background once it's painted in and just make sure I get the horizon line at the right level. And then this. I am actually going to take a break because my wrist is not feeling fantastic, and I'm going to see if I can't get this pad swapped out so that I don't have to fight as much resistance. I don't want to put all that much pressure on my wrist. So, I think I'm going to call it a day for now, or call it a live stream, at least. And, I don't know, we'll try it again. Is this useful, helpful? I mean, it's like a long time, 2 hours to do like 4 images, but it pays off to spend the time on the lines, and then all the other things will fall into place. So it's just a better time investment. So I'm spending most of my time on the lines for these now. I guess I'll pick this up later and we'll see. We will just see. All right, I'm done. Off we go.